A copy of
All right, so I'm now recording on my computer at home. Cool.
Awesome. Well, we got audio, video from this device. As soon as we get started, we'll be, I'm not gonna touch it.
No, really, just point the camera, see,
Right, well,
all of that, and I could, but I.
It's so delicate. You think for software like Zoom that gets used by so many people all day, every day, it's just very delicate to get it to work. Like that, they have so much potential to make it better.
Well, maybe you need to go to work for Zoom.
Wow.
All I know is.
Okay, so this is cool, and I'm gonna turn off my camera, so I don't need
Oh, hey,
my camera, no, it'll
I
just.
can three-hole furniture for the.
Over there.
We are ready.
We're close. We have a big file.
Okay, that's good.
Oh, yeah.
Not worried about it.
I've got you on the agenda.
Not my phone.
Okay. Oh,
Small group.
Yeah, it is.
Thanks, you're the best.
But it's plain.
I put you an agenda in, senior print. No, you really have to look at it. And I've got it all on one page. But anyway, welcome everyone. Now, do we have any brand new people? We have guests today? Or, yes, please stand and, please stand if you will and let us know who you are.
My name is Doug Whittle. I am a member of the now closed KCS group, KCS Macintosh Users Group, and I am have been the treasurer for the last several years of that club.
We'll let you make that presentation a little bit. How's that? Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Are you a member?
Yeah.
Well, welcome. Welcome, everyone. Please stand and we'll recognize our flag and then we'll go from there. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which is one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have a report. I thank all of the members, and we will do this online as well, but we've had a concern about the newsletter and getting communication to the membership. And so, thanks to Carol, we was able to incorporate that information to the membership regarding this meeting. And we got 55 hits on the newsletter. That's out of 90 members, and now we have more than 90. So that's a very good sign that we are now communicating, because communication is a two-way street. And if we don't know if they get the information, then why are we doing it? But the newsletter, it takes a lot of time and effort on the part of many people in the organization. And we really thank our editor, who was not here today, all of the work that he does. So I just wanted to make mention of that. Financial report, if at this time I would like Carol to give us that, and then we'll move on here.
As of April 30th, we had in our savings account $4,051. And in our checking account, we had $2,621.02. In our certificate, we made $31.66 for the month. And we now have $8,316.03 out of the original 8,000 that we invested, and that comes due in August, on August 17th.
Thank you. Thank you. Now I'd like to recognize the gentleman who just stood up. Doug, if you come forward, please, and give us a little background about your organization and let us know what the future is.
Yes, well, I've been a member of the Macintosh Users Group for 30 years or so. And in recent years, membership has dwindled, or at least attendance has dwindled. Although it seems that maybe you have the same sort of thing. Typically in the last 3 years, we would not have more than maybe a dozen members show up, and sometimes less than that. And so our median age was probably around 75. We were getting no new members joining the club, and officers in the club were getting a little tired of, you know, running the show. So we made a decision last December to close down. So I've gone through all the decommissioning requirements, and our last action is to donate our remaining funds to another nonprofit. So we have $461.33 that we're donating to your organization, and hopefully you'll get that positive soon, and the bank account will draw down to zero, and now we're at close that. Our club is done. And sad.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for the donation, and this will go to our treasurer. I will not keep it, I will not lose it. I have a little thank you, certificate of appreciation. Gets up, Macintosh Users Group. It's unfortunate your group had to terminate support the residents of Kitsap County. We commend you for your past concerns and accomplishments in supporting the Macintosh users. We extend a welcome to the members of your organization to join our organization. Continue to support the Macintosh, and there are some in this area, and we met some last Saturday, by the way, in Walpole. So anyway, your continued support of the Macintosh users in this area would be beneficial. And share the same mission to enhance the Kitsap residents' knowledge, skills, and the enjoyment of computer technology. That's what our mission is. And on behalf of the Kitsap Computer Seniors, thank you for your generous donation.
All right, thank you,
And we appreciate
I will
that.
scan that and send it out to all the members.
Yeah, extend that to them. And we, by the way, we will be having a change in our meeting starting in September.
Right.
It'll be the second Saturday, same time. We'll welcome you in at 10:30, and then we'll move on from there. And we will, anytime that you want to get a hold of us, we'll give you, our email, or if not, you know Carol's, and we can have your members come forward and pay when they come in September this month.
Okay, and I have several old Mac computers. Now you tell me that you do refurbish those? No.
Yes, I will refurbish them.
Oh, primarily, I just want to make sure they get white.
Yeah, I can do that.
So,
So just bring them in.
If you have one that's old enough, I'll be interested in it personally.
Sure.
but where do you want him to bring them? To the parks?
I have your contact information. Why don't we talk offline?
All right.
Because I
There
would
you
have
go.
to leave early today, but
All right.
I have people that show up in my classes periodically with Macs or with iPads asking for help.
Yeah.
So members of yours that would be willing to share their information, we would be delighted to have them.
Okay, all right, there you go.
Well, thanks again.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Let's give him a big hand. Thank you. And the next thing on our agenda is our speaker for today, and our member. Please welcome Jack. How do you say your last name? Giuliano. Giuliano. I wanted to make sure, that's why I asked you.
Good Irish
You're
name.
on.
Pronounce it, that's a J in it. Okay, so this presentation was actually put together for the North Shore Senior Centers in Snohomish County. And it assumes that people really don't have a grasp of the operating system the way most of us have. Most of us have used computers for quite a while and we're into it. But they asked us to put together something like this, and this is maybe just the basics of it. The problem is to get too really technical into it. People cannot follow up on it. So I don't know if you can hear that, but ignore it. It shows up with my hearing aid. Okay, so the whole idea of having a computer is to make your life easier. You can go online to your doctor's portal, and like most of them now require it. They don't want to talk to you on the phone anymore. Also, some people will do banking online. If you do, talk about that. But once you have that personal information in an electronic format, it becomes vulnerable to someone else copying it. And if they do copy it, then they're going to cause you a world of grief. So there's a couple of things you can do to make it really easy to go to the next slide. What can happen? Everyone's heard of viruses. Spybots are still around. A Trojan is a really cool thing if you're trying to steal stuff. Not too great if you got one infected. A phishing attack and the human engineering are probably the most common thing that's happening now. It's very, very, very prevalent. I bet you've gotten a couple, and it's pretty insidious. Hardware failures, we're going to do about backup just briefly, because eventually the chips in your machine are going to die. They're going to overheat. Silicon doesn't sweat. So if you're in the habit of keeping a laptop on your lap, it'll probably cut down its life. Feel your lap's starting to get warm, that's an indication. Go ahead and put it back on the desk. Next. Okay, so the virus, briefly. It can sit on your computer for a while, or it can immediately execute. When it happens, if you've got, your wife's got a computer, your kid's got a computer, they're all hooked to the router, some of them will wander through. So it doesn't mean you've done anything wrong to get the virus. Someone else in your house could have done it. If you send emails to people, one of the insidious things is that it'll attach itself without you knowing it, and I'll get it from your email. But generally, you have to execute, you have to click on a link. That's the way it usually works. And it likes to wipe hard drives. It likes to send nasty messages to your friends. This has been less and less, in my experience, a problem. The people who have the type of personality that write this stuff have found out it's a lot more profitable to stick a Trojan like a keylogger on it and get your password to your bank. Next one. Okay, a spy bot sits there, and as you send stuff to your bank, to your best friends and all, it will copy it by and large, and then at some future time, it'll send it to its creator. So it and a Trojan are virtually synonymous, unless you want to get deep into how it works. So the nasty thing about this is that a spy bot and a Trojan will copy your address book off of particularly Outlook, but now it knows about Google Mail, now it knows about Thunderbird Mail, and so, you know, staying away from Outlook isn't a cure-all it used to be. One thing it'll do, it'll take your from address, it'll create phishing emails, and then it will send it to me with Carol's address as a from. You can spoof the sending address super easy. And so you say, oh, well, Carol's sending me a link to have something to do with KCS Computing Seniors next meeting. I'll just click on it. But it's not a link to the meeting, I guarantee you. And from one spy bot on the network, someone will walk across through your router to your wife's or to whoever else is using your network. Next one. Next time I'll bring that up. So a Trojan will get on your machine. You might be browsing a website that looks just like Bank of America. It isn't. Um, check out our $200 gift to your account if you'll only fill out the survey. And you know, real backs do it, right? They do. So these people are pretending to be, as soon as you click that link, it'll download and it'll stay on your machine, and it'll be happy to find out the next time you log in what your password is to that bank and to any place else you do it, like PayPal. Now, you guys do know that they've been doing the dual verification where they send a PIN to your phone. So that has cut down the use of this quite a bit, because it's pretty hard. They can get your phone, but you'd be dealing with some pretty sophisticated technology. That go ahead and I'm on the phony website. Now they're gonna look up my phone. They're gonna send a PIN to it so I can pretend to have another PIN. So, next one. The phishing attacks are what you see a lot of. What happens is you get an email and it might look like it comes from Bank of America or KCS Credit Union, whatever. I mean, it's gonna look perfect. That's how they get away with it. Okay, but it will have some sort of urgent message attack. Your account's been frozen. Your someone's been trying to take money out of your debit card. Did you make the charge to American Express? You know, when you click on the link to go to the credit card bank website, you're not really going there. You're going to a duplicate. It's so easy to download an entire web page and change it. So then you'll be logging in. What are you doing? You're giving them your bank account and your address and company. I've not fallen for this, but I've had it show up and I've had a little fun with them. So next one. So phishing is very, very common. This one here is actually an email that we got from FedEx. You can see it's been quite a while since I've done the initial thing, but there's a parcel. Go ahead and get the postal receipt. So I'm not sure if it'll work on your thing, but hover on postal receipt. Okay, it won't. Yeah. So a lot of browsers, a lot of emails, if you just point at that, you'll find that it's going nowhere near FedEx, or it's going to something called contact.fedex/RU, Romania, or C, whatever China is. It's pretty clever, but now they've even reached a point where it'll look like it's going to FedEx. The point is, if you do get one of these, next one, I think. Okay, this is the second one on PayPal. If you do get something like this, where it says, click the link to go to the new email address, or it'll have an attachment that's a zip. The zip is a virus, a Trojan. The link, again, will take you to something that really looks like PayPal. I mean, on your screen, it is PayPal. Again, when you log in, there's someone busily recording all this stuff and sending it to a boiler room in some foreign country that's going to start buying stuff with your money. And then you got to chase it down. Okay, so the way you avoid this, I hope it's the next one. There's another email. Don't click any of the links. The way you avoid this is your bank normally doesn't send you a threatening email. If you don't log in, we're going to disable your account. People behind large businesses don't do that. Okay, but how you normally go to PayPal, you've got a bookmark in your browser, or if you're really paranoid like me, you actually type in PayPal.com so that it's not hooked up in any way to be downloadable, and you memorize your password for anything that has money involved in it. I don't really care about my both US account, you know, I mean, that's just, and somebody wants to browse through what I play with. Well, I wish I had more money for my boat. they're welcome to it. They wanna send me 50,000 ads. I've got a method of handling that, don't believe you. But if have someone, fishes the information out of you for PayPal, then they'll be more than happy to buy a bunch of stuff. And, you may not see it right away. It may take 24 hours, get an email that says, PayPal, oh, you must have, bestbuy.com and watch stuff TV. Well, no, I didn't. Yeah, you can go back and fight it, but it's better to avoid it. So never click on the email. If you get anything that says, please check your account, close the email window, go directly to paypal.com, log in with my login, my password, and there's messages, there's notifications. You just go find out if this is real. And if it's real, you can work on it from there. But I'm guessing that 80% of the time it won't be. This email here was kind of neat, says an invoice. This happened pretty recently. And it was supposed to be from service@paypal.com. And look at the return address. That's a real return address. That's not where it came from, but it would look like that in PayPal. So I went ahead and chased this down a little bit. You give me the next one.
Mhm.
And view and pay the invoice. So you hover on this and paypal.com and all this stuff, you go all the way out there, it's not really PayPal. Next one. So as I was saying, you go directly to PayPal and you log in. Next one. And this is my PayPal account, by the way. See, there's no $340 on there, is there? So that's a clue that email came from a phishing boiler room. I guess they say about 80% now are in China. And they're even getting to a point where the English is perfect. A lot of times the tip-off can be a strangely phrased sentence with, even if you're an IQ of 150, having English or French or Italian as a second language, it's hard to get it down perfectly, but they're doing a lot better. And some of it might be just silly AI stuff that's correcting the punctuation and spelling. So if you do get a notice from your bank and you go here, you say, well, look here, there's no actual charge for that amount. That means two things. First of all, it means the email was phony. It also means they haven't actually cracked my PayPal. Because had they, they'd be walking away with a little bit of cash. And a lot of people can afford $340, but most of us are on Social Security. Nope, can't afford it. So you got to keep an eye on it. Okay. If you're concerned that someone has hacked your online account, call the customer service number. Pour yourself a cup of coffee, wait until you get some nice human being on there and explain exactly who you are. But don't use the phone number that came in the email. Use the one that's on the back of the card. Use the one that's on your monthly statement. And you can even get these from the power company. You can Sound Energy. You can get them from, I suppose I've never gotten one, but I'm sure you could get one from KCS auditor saying, you did misplace your tax payment. I mean, they'll do all kinds of stuff. They're very, very creative. So don't ever click the link. I guess the main thing to take away from this. And if you don't click the link, you won't get fished. But the fish get hungry and you're in a hurry. Oh, I got to check this out. Don't be in a hurry. The bank is not going to close your account, freeze your account. The power company not going to turn off your power, and the phone company or your cell company, they're not going to need your money, right? Before they really get nasty, they're going to contact you half a dozen times in half a dozen ways. It won't be by email. They can't run a business that way. Every once in a while, by the way, if you read the notifications that come from your various vendors, they'll have a little note there that says, we will never contact you by email for your password. And that's true. So the other one that you get is, here's a real email I got from Glenn Beer. He's a friend of mine. That's not his email address though, but see, they don't always get it. .pe is Peru. They're not always that unclever. Usually you'll actually have Glenn's real email address there. What happens is someone's email account, their address book was hacked and copied. And so they're starting out with one person using him as the source, and they're blasting emails to all of his friends saying, well, go ahead and click on this. If I did, I'm certain I would be in a bad place. I did not click on this. I browsed this separately on a different screen, and I just cut and pasted it in there. Yeah.
I got one from the US Postal Service about a week ago. I happened to be in the post office, and it said, they needed my address, but I didn't know my address. And they told me that's a scam. He said, the only thing I've ordered are some plants, and I said, on the order form, you always put your address. For them to send it to, he said, no, that's.
Pretty creative, isn't it? And
But just in case anyone else gets one.
well, I used to believe that us seniors who don't have, you know, a couple of thousand shares of Microsoft or Amazon, that, you know, we don't have these huge bank accounts, that they won't, you know, we're sort of flying under the radar, like why steal $340 from Jack when you can go to, Bill Gates' cousin, get 340,000, right? All we gotta do is they shut up at these people who are in the motor vehicle registration with, 2023 Mercedes, right? And I'm sure they know who all they are too. Our leaders, cars, and it runs, and it's paper. Anyway, so you've got these people doing this stuff, and, over at the Hope Park Senior Center, I recently donated a machine to a lady who had $300 taken out of her account by one of these idiots, and she had to scramble to pay it back. I mean, make it look right. And she still got the money back from the bank. So I wish I had more about the law, because it was quite obviously a scheme, but don't go after anybody.
About every 3 to 4 months, I have to go change my credit card. So I spent a long time talking to my credit card. And I said, well, how the heck are they getting this? Because I do all these things. He said, how the heck are they getting that credit card? Well, I said, he said that there's 2 things that you must always do. So when you go to pay with a credit card, use the, you know, the radio frequency, put the credit card on top of it, don't stick it in there. Into the credit card holder. Because it says it electronically passes the information to the you know, back to the credit card company, drops it back, and snap, it's all done. There's no record of it. So if you put it in, there's a record, that record, you know, if somebody can get inside it, you know, with modern technology, artificial intelligence, they can go get that. So that's the first thing to do. The second thing he says, it's inevitable that, because you were asked, I got an email from my dentist. And dentist asked me to please update my, it was the address for my dentist, but they wanted me to update my information. I would no way in heck ever update my information, but what happened, what it tells me, which is what they told me, so what happens is, they don't mind come after me. They come after the companies that somehow have my data, my doctor, my dentist, and they go back in there and they will then get into theirs, extract my information, build themselves another credit card, and then they'll go shopping in California or Florida, and then get that notification. And pretty well, about 4 months is about where somebody gets a hold of my credit card. They wipe the thing out, they don't pay it, I don't have to pay it. But I spent a long time asking them, what the heck, why does this happen? And, and he said it's just because they're getting into these other places. And they get in there, extract the information, you hear this lawsuits, 3 million accounts. What they do, and then they go sell that off, combine, put together the name artificial intelligence laws, and do this real quick, to get your telephone number, your cell phone number, and they put all this together, and then you can go back up and extract money. But it's amazing. So now I even I gave myself a list of all the, I think that's 20 different places that I have automatic payments, you know, so that I can go back to them and say, I got in, I gotta change my new credit card for Orca, and, you know, and good to go, and all the other things you have that you need to go. And, so it's very interesting about how they're doing
It's
this.
interesting how we're thinking of just you periodically. I don't think we don't have problems, but he mentioned his auto pay thing, and it's pretty easy to get a low limit credit card. I mean, they want us to do business. They make money even if we're only buying $75 worth of gas. They get their dimes and their nickels. When everybody pays the dimes and nickels, MasterCard and Visa and all, your bank will probably try to show the credit card on you along with a debit card. If you're using, this is a little digression, but we do want to talk about this stuff. We want to get that. If you're using direct pay, right? And now you decide that, my wife and I just did some Canadian pharmacy. I don't use the same credit card. I've got a backup card or two. And if something happens that I don't like, I will immediately, my backup card will be part of that way. I'll immediately trash it. I'll just call them like you're doing and say, hey, look, my card's been compromised. 3 days later, I get a new one. But the main one that does all the direct pays is I only use that where I know it's safe. I'll use that Safeway because I've never been that at Safeway. The bit about the tap to pay is new information. That's good information. The most important thing if you're dealing with credit card is to check your statement and dispute it immediately. Because even if it takes you 4 months to get the money back, you will eventually get the money back. So you don't want to say is, oh, I don't remember doing business at the diesel guys and the diesel tractor guy, but you only have a diesel generator. I probably did that. So I'll look back through my receipts when I get a chance. Don't try not to be too trusting. It's a sad thing that you can't trust people you don't like to do.
One other thing, Jack, if you don't recognize credit card, it's got a little, looks like a symbol of sound on the edge on the back of the card. Not all credit cards are, you know, tap to go credit cards. But they got that little symbol, looks like a, you know, like a hearing aid on the end of it. That tells you that that's a tap to go credit card. Now, some of them are not tap to go, but it said use the tap to go. Boom. Extracts that information. It's really, really quick.
Yeah, I'm going to add something about the slight leader slide. There's the way they get the information when you insert it is they have a very thin piece of plastic that goes over the reader, and then that can actually read your card if you insert it. Generally, if you look at it, it kind of looks broken or it looks like somebody's put plastic tape over it. You have to be careful because some of them are perfect. So that's around. Getting back to the computer that we use every day. Okay, you may have gotten a phone call or a little pop-up window that says Microsoft has noticed that your Windows 10 or Windows 11 is out of our maintenance cycle. Or it sent us a report that says you have a virus on one of your computer programs. If you go ahead and click on this link, we're going to help you work through fixing it. Yeah, that would be really nice if Microsoft cared about us that much, or Amazon or somebody. They don't. Okay, and hang on that. And I guarantee you 100% that that's a phishing attack. Just delete the email. Don't even read it. Okay. The only thing you'll get from Microsoft is, would you please subscribe to Office 365? That's the only real legitimate pop-up that comes up. And if you want to subscribe to it, you can, but don't use the pop-up. Go through your regular your Microsoft setup. Click on the gear, go to setup, go to Office 365, say you want your free subscription, and 3 months later, it'll start to pop your credit card. You will never get anything from McAfee, which is an antivirus program, or any other program that you run that says, oh, we've detected something. You may get a phone call. The interesting thing is that you're obviously talking to someone who's from East Indian. He speaks British, he doesn't speak American. But if you wanna, if you're weird like me and you've got an extra day when you're doing a lot of paperwork, you put him on speakerphone and he says, would you do this to your computer? Oh, yes, what do you want me to do? And I'm doing something else, and you just string them along. A friend of mine did this. He said, he kept the guy on for 2 hours. I kept the guy on for 40 minutes. Just everything he said, I agreed with. And finally, he said, you're not seeing the screen. Something he was trying to get me to turn on remote monitoring, remote assistance. And he said, you're not seeing the screen. No, I'm not. Can you tell me how to do this? And there was this little pause, and he said, do you really want help? And then I just said, well, actually, I wish you'd get time yourself an honest job. You're obviously a pretty smart young man. Why are you trying to rip people off? I recognize it. Click. But, meanwhile, I guess, the time he was wasted with me, hopefully it'll ruin his batting average. So they don't ever, next one. Okay. Yes.
I had about every 2 years, I like to read newspapers online,
Yeah.
and about every 2 years, I click on something and I get this pop-up, and it covers everything. I go to the bottom of the screen.
Yep.
And there's a noise there, and it says, you got a virus. He says, call this number and Microsoft will.
Oh, it's a
take care of it."
virus? It's a
And-
voice?
Yeah.
It's this what comes out of the speakers.
Yeah, it comes out of, and so
It happened to
anyway,
my friend Ted.
it's up there, and there's nothing I could click on. Anyway, I pushed the computer button and just shut that thing, gave it a force, shut it down.
Yep.
And then wait for about 30 seconds after it's completely shut down, and I turn it back on again, and it's gone. It's everything.
This is the diversion. This happened to my friend Ted, and every time he rebooted, it kept popping up on the screen, and I could hear it over the phone talking to him, and it was a woman's voice, very polite, and it just said that he must immediately take action. So what we did is we powered off his machine, we pulled the battery out of it, waited 8 hours, plugged it back in. At that point, it was gone. So it was sitting in might have been sitting in BioScratch or something, or else it was in the boot block. But it was very clever, and that was the first time I heard of a voice on the computer. So one of the insidious things about AI, you hear a lot of people say now it's going to help us, and it probably will. But they can capture your grandchild's voice. They can capture an old friend's voice if they're really into social media crap. And then they can go ahead and flood all their contacts with a request for money. And again, if the sheriff of San Luis Obispo calls and says, well, you got a problem, Jack, your grandson is sitting here, and this is not a good place for a young man. So if you go ahead and send us a bail real quick and we'll release him. Oh, thank you very much. What was your phone number again? So get whatever phone number they give you, hang up, go to directory assistance, find out who the real sheriff is, give him a call, and when he says, never heard of, Lyle, oh, really? Well, there's this phone number here you might want to know about, Sheriff. I just got a call that said, I'm supposed to send bail money here. And he's probably really interested in finding out who that person is. Unfortunately, they're probably on the other side of the ocean, but if they're local, why not cause them trouble?
One of the things you can do is you can tell them, I'm busy right now, call me back. Hang up, see if they call you back.
Oh, they will.
Now, 9 times out of 10, they won't.
Here's a really sneaky thing. You look at the caller ID, it's gonna say Kitsap County Sheriff.
They're usually,
That's the easiest thing in the world to spoof, just like they can spoof the email address, they can spoof caller ID with a very rudimentary computer knowledge. They don't have to be geniuses to do it. Okay, so, being paranoid, it sucks. It's not the world we grew up in where you can trust most people. If your address book has been copied or anything, close your email. Like I said, go to your browser and go to the account directly. If you have any problem with that, if they somehow screwed with your browser, and that's very unlikely, call the 800. Talk to Sally. Say, Sally, this is my account number, and I've got this email here. If we didn't send it, but you let them know. Now, if you want to take further proactive thing, almost every major company has a email. Let's say you're dealing with PayPal.com, right? It's fraud@PayPal.com or fish@PayPal.com, and you can Google and find out exactly what it is, and you can send them a copy of the email before you delete it. And they'll send you a thank you, I mean, the first person who sends it to them is helping them out. The 20th one, they probably, okay. But it's still a good idea to let them know that the criminal is still out there and they're still using your company's good name, Chef. Next one. Yeah, do be skeptical. Okay. If I send you a link, or if my wife sends you a link, look at our granddaughter's pretty cat, right? If they've done this before, you're probably safe with doing it. But if it's someone out of the blue that you went to high school with, or you served in the military with, and they send you a link, don't click the link. Contact them in a different way. Give them a call. It's nice to connect with friends. Say, hey, I got that email you sent me. Did you really serve on the USS Enterprise? I never sent you an email. Delete it. Because that happens. That's more rare now. It used to be very common. It's more rare now. The one from the bank, the one from your account, that's becoming very prevalent. If you don't get one or two a month, you're very lucky.
One of our members just probably 6 months ago had their email hacked and it sent out requests for gift cards,
Yeah.
and Google Pay cards and stuff. I mean, it happens still for sure.
And it might be a charity that you're familiar with and you've donated to. Habitat for Humanity, let's say you send them $20 every other month, or whoever you deal with. Well, if they hack their email, and they could, okay, here it comes. It looks just like them, please click the link and send us another $20. So I wouldn't do it if I were you. Next one. Windows 10 and 11 have a built-in security package. As far as most viruses, most Trojans, it'll catch them. It won't catch the stuff that asks you to click on a link because you have not opened the door. It can't force the door open, but you can help it get in, okay? If you click on a bad link, there's a 50-50 chance that the thing will catch it. It probably will, but I wouldn't trust my bank account to it. Every night or weekly, but you'll get updates to it automatically. So I recommend at least once a week to keep your machine on overnight. It'll download all the security links. It'll download a lot of other stuff that Microsoft wants you to have for their benefit. They're called updates, feature packages. They've got a lot of things they call them. But one way or another, it's going to update. If you only work on your computer from 8 to 5, sooner or later, your machine's going to get really, really slow. And that's because they're doing an update while you're trying to work on it. So, if it does that, by the way, and you're not in a screaming hurry, once it really slows down, if you look at the hard drive light, the little light that's going to go flickering crazy, let it alone because you're only slowing it down. Go do something else for an hour, and the update will finish quicker. The next one. So Windows security will scan for your malware, and that's malicious software, Trojans and viruses, security threats. Okay, okay, leave it there.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we'll go to next. You can run it off. You can run it manually. Go to the search block, type Windows, type security, and you'll come up with this screen. This is all the things it goes for. and it works great. Then the next thing you're gonna click is security system, virus and threat protection. So click on that. There it is. Okay. Next, you're gonna click on, virus and threat protection. The little green, the shield and the little green check mark, by the way, means that the last time it ran clean. If it's yellow or red, then, you should be getting notification that it found something. And you can click on, I'll tell you what it's found. So just go ahead and, the next thing you want to click is scan options up here. Next one, and then do a full scan. And then just leave it. Okay, now, it tries to do this periodically, but I don't know if you've had the experience with you guys. I don't find that it runs it often enough. I check the reports about monthly, and sometimes I find, oh, it ran a bunch of quick scans when you boot up, and then it ran a bunch of full scans, everything was go through. And then sometimes I find out it hasn't done anything for 30 days. So if your machine starts to slow down, or if you think you've had a security breach of any kind, go ahead and run this. Okay, and it'll, when you do that, it'll come down, you want to click scan now. Go ahead, next one. And it'll run maybe for an hour. It might run a lot longer, depends on when it's last run, depends on how much photographs you've got on your computer, how full your hard drive is. That's pretty much the number one thing. Number two one is how fast your processor speed is. If you got a fairly old machine, it might take 4 hours. Still worth doing periodically. So back up. Okay. If you're still concerned that you've been violated, the last one is this offline scan. And when you click scan now, it'll reboot the machine. And it comes up in a mode that's even better than Microsoft's the old safe mode. And now it'll scan the boot block. It'll take out Sherlock Holmes magnifying glass, and it'll look for the tracks of the bug, not just look for the bug. And that's usually pretty quick, actually. But I only do this once a month, once every other month. I normally just check the reports. The reports say I'm clean, I believe it. You can click one more. Okay, click one more. Okay. So we've had a few questions. Please interrupt me if I get carried away with the jokes, but you can, in addition to Microsoft built-in security code, you can purchase additional stuff. You can use Malwarebytes. You can use AVG. A lot of machines are bundled with McAfee. McAfee slows your computer down. No other way to say it. It's a resource hog. But if you've already used it and you pay the subscription, no problem. It's a good idea. It's like having two armed Marines at the front door instead of one at the front door. You let other people borrow your computer. You know the difference between an admin user and a guest user. If you don't, bring it in or get one of us to help you. You don't want to let guests on your computer have admin privileges just because they might check a bad email on their email server and mess up you. Passwords, that's a very basic way to do it, but it works. It's a lot harder for what's called a dictionary attack. You break your passwords, if you change some of them into letters and numbers. Another thing you can do is you can deliberately misspell over the password. Big Latin. You use something that's not an English word for password. If you can. There's password managers. And I have mixed feelings on them. They work, but they're crackable. There's a couple of tricks you can use. let's say your password was my high school. Okay, you don't have to put the spaces in there. And after my high school, if you were doing PayPal, you could put my high school at, and then PAY for PayPal. Then when you go to Bank of America, you could use the same thing at BAN. I'll tell you how I do it. I take the last three digits of the first line on the website. So, you know, I don't use my high school, but whatever the phrase is, you can have a different password for each account. And yet not go nuts trying to remember what they are. Or you could put that in the front of the password. And you could make it the first three letters in the upper corner of the website, last three letters in the upper corner of this one. Only you will know what those last three digits are. Eventually, you want to change that too, but we can use that for years. And even if someone gets your Bank of America password, they won't have the PayPal password. Don't ever use the same password or ever. That's and don't write it on the sticky and put it on your keyboard. Okay, the last one, okay. So APG I've used, it is a good one. I think since I did this slide though, they require you to update it manually. They did that for malware bytes, which we used to give away with all our computers. Is now it just pops up and it says, please buy us, please buy us. Don't you really want to buy us? And then you need to manually run it and update it. But it's a good system if you want to use it. Next one. So if you've got someone in your family who's really technically competent and they prefer McAfee, let them help you set it up. There's a lot of things that run better if they're slightly cleaned up. I've never had problems since Windows 10 with just using the built-in Windows security. I do a lot of browsing and I do a lot of photographs, editing, all this. But I'm careful where I go. I think it's probably 90% of the expensive ones. Good experiences and with it, but it runs good. And it has detected traffic going around on my wife's computer, on my computer. And it will give you, can you throw up a regular desktop? Yeah, we're done. Okay. So down here in the bottom, notifications.
I don't have notifications.
Okay, so let's pretend this is your desktop. If that little shield we saw for Windows Defender, it'll pop you up an orange or a red X if it found something that needs to be addressed. Otherwise, you're cool. You don't have to worry about it. Yeah, that'll appear in a lower notification docket if there's anything wrong. And as long as it doesn't, I'm happy with it. Haven't heard of any massive infections in 10, 12 years.
I was gonna say is that, yeah, the built-in Defender is great to prevent bad software from downloading to your computer, but it doesn't stop you from giving away your password to a bad website.
Yeah, human engineering, they call it.
Just a comment for people that don't know or maybe should know, is if you have a credit card, almost every credit card company will tell you my credit card's at $75 back. You know, they always ask, you have a credit card, you should know what the limit is. You're gonna watch it. Then the other thing is you have a Q card. Like that you go, I'm using this has $75 liability on it. I'm using this, somebody gets everything and lines it up properly, they could take hundreds or thousands of dollars out. So you should know what your liability responsibility is for using different cards, because it's different,
If you have a debit card, it will most likely have a Visa attached to it. If your bank allows you to do it, and mine stopped doing it and came back, but you tell them, I just want a debit card. I don't want a Visa to it. I don't want a MasterCard. All I want is a debit card. Make sure your debit card only goes to your checking account. Keep money in your checking account that you can afford to lose. Keep the rest of it in the savings account. Then even if they get your debit card, they can't.
but sometimes you can get into the machine. Because this stuff, this artificial intelligence is opening up all kinds of doors. They can get into the machine, that where you go, enter your debit card, put in your 4-digit PIN. You can move money from one account to another account and then take it out. So, always be aware, if you don't understand how much liability your card is, then you probably shouldn't be using that card. Because everything has a different liability.
They put, because I know I'm credit union, and they put limits on how much you can take out. Like at VCU, we have a limit of how much we can take out of any one of our accounts. And so, say $1,000, we can't take out $1,000 out of our money market or our savings or our checking. It's $1,000 for the day on all of our, we can't.
That's
So that's what's really nice there, is nobody can access the rest of our accounts.
Yeah, Alaska Credit Union does the same thing, but not all banks do.
Yeah,
And one other thing that you should do, wherever you have these cards, you should go back up and check every day or every couple of days or every 3 days to see what's happening.
right.
If somebody got in there and using your debit card, and somebody got in there and using your credit card, because if there are, you better get a hold of that, the bank or credit card now, or credit union, you can get a hold of them and say, hey, I think this somebody is using my credit card. But then they will go back up and stop it, and they'll send you a new credit card, and especially if you're, and then another thing that you should do, it's another thing that I learned from talking to my credit card company, if you're gonna travel, you better make sure that they know that you're traveling. So, because all of a sudden you show up in Alaska, or you've never been in Alaska before, but you got your credit card in Alaska, and then all of a sudden, they shut you down. And you didn't bring a lot of cash, but you bought your credit card, and if it's shut down, and you're gonna go through all this thing, iterating with them, so if you're gonna travel, you should let them know, I'm going to Alaska. Yes, I'm going to be using my credit card. Well, we went to Costa Rica in January. Let my credit card company know I was going to Costa Rica. I only use one credit card, and they will go back up and know that that's where it's at. They won't shut my credit card down, and I can't use it. So I mean, these are some things you want to know about and you want to let your credit card company know.
So he went ahead and initiated a scam. That's what your scam will look like. Security essentials, they'll change the name every couple of iterations.
Every time they
It's antivirus. That's the important thing about it. It's not an anti. You get caught by a phishing email, it's not smart enough to protect you. You have to protect yourself. The latest and greatest. And just be, I'm saying don't be paranoid, but be a little paranoid, because even a small bank account now is vulnerable to some. Yeah.
If something doesn't feel right, if something's like, this doesn't look exactly like it looked last time, and it's not just the logo changed, but if something doesn't, like the domain doesn't look right, if it doesn't seem to end with a .com or a .net, and pay attention to that, because your gut feeling is often right.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't cost them anything to send out 50,000 scam emails in the hopes of one person will bite. Not all email programs are smart enough to realize that it's spam.
Thank you for your advice and what. I don't know if something for you. We are all in spam, and that's what it is these days. I check my email twice a day. And we were very fortunate those who work with credit unions. They tell me, or they give me the opportunity to monitor mine. But if they have any activity on my checking account, I know it. I know it.
But you don't click on the email that says, I'm your credit union and I want you to check me.
So, so Jack, in recognition of professional presentation to us, today, it's up to you, seniors, we arrived in furniture. We, thank you for sharing your computer education for commitment in helping individuals solve the computer problems. On behalf of members of the computer seniors, I commend you for your accomplishments and concerns for the local residents of many years. And KCS is very fortunate to have you on the team. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You all. There's your forward right there. Okay, we're gonna take a short break and then, we're going to have, there's coffee over there, cookies, and, one word, we're going to be changing our meeting starting in September. This is the last meeting. We take a summer break. But we want to make sure that you click on the newsletter, which will be coming out, to tell you where the classes are. And so that information, and if you wish to talk to us during the break, we can help you there too. But we do have a continuation of assistance to all members during the summer. And our meeting will start on the 14th of September on the second Saturday. And we'll be welcoming you in here at 10:30, and then we'll move right in. We're also going to have a little luncheon in addition to our normal general and our trustee meeting. For membership that's here, if you'd like to stay for the trustees meeting, we're here to serve you, and we need your input. At that time, then let's just take a break, and we'll talk to you if you have any questions. Okay. Okay.
Flip around here like I normally do.
Number on the back of the car.
That's the thing that make sure to let them know.
Most of my presentation was say. People security.
Credit card. Yeah, your thing is that building to give you a virtual credit card. And that way there, you order a lot of wine. That was possible.
And, so for many years, I heard people want to remember things. And not the newspaper last year.
They just, I don't know where you started. I think I'm asking.
I've been offered that from one of
That's.
Yeah. You did that, I'm not a first adopter, I thought I waited a little bit. But again, I'm gonna use one of my throwaway cards to start with.
Well, see, that's just it. I've got a card that's got a minor amount. So if somebody buys a card, and you can leave it, that's why I've got. But see, the virtual credit card is the one that I'm looking at, because then I don't have to call up the bank and go, hey, cancel my card. Because the thing about it is my card card's still good because the virtual card gets canceled.
From what I understand.
Anyway.
Let's say you are.
Get to that.
If the detailing goes up to 15 years. I'm running exactly. So you want an hour of my time. So yes, authorize that.
Correct. The numbers change. That's the good, I mean, the virtual.
That even if I was.
Right.
Let's hit the guy this thing.
Somebody, yeah, the next customer.
I'm still not decided.
Guy is.
The finish or we.
Card died.
Suggested that. I think it is what you want to do for that particular reason.
Okay, I mean, that's.
Well, I deal with agency, and maybe federal wise, you have to go into their office, sit down, and send this stuff. You can't get out. Correct, it's face to face. I like the idea of the virtual card for the same reason. I had this happen to me last year where my regular card ends up getting used for $700 more than I put on it. So I call them up and cancel my card. Well, that leaves me without a card for 3 days.
Yes.
Right, so that's, I do have a backlog. So I like to go to the virtual, but I just wondered if anybody would speak to it, I didn't know. Yeah, that's a good.
Where'd you?
I'll bet you do.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one, came from one of my old best friends. And, passed away.
I'm glad to see those cookies get.
The DAB.
That's real cool. That's cool. First time I've seen it. Real cool.
Well, that's the reason why I took it off my other jacket. Put it on this one. People who have never seen it.
That's right. I've never seen it. I didn't realize. I was just wondering.
You know where the DAB office is now?
Yeah,
too?
where these bedrooms.
Yeah, it used to be. I wish it was still there.
No.
See if we can make these face each other a little bit here. All right.
I'm glad to be a little scan. I was at Costco yesterday, and they had these, they looked so interesting. I was like,
Absolutely.
Oh, and they're at Silverway Library.
I don't know, I can't take anybody's home set up. The last time I got COVID, about a year and a half ago, had this weird, like, thyroid. That got me in a game. And then we want to straight.
Okay.
I'm down about 10. Not quite as heavy. And it just changed my whole. I can't do it. All my boosters and everything. Had 4 total boosters, but I didn't get 666. I was out tired. I was like, I slept for about a week, and then I woke up and it was just like, I couldn't focus. Yeah, you know, I changed my diet. You know, it's hard to lose weight.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Yeah, I just hit 40. So like, I think the word things like my lack of invincibility, I thought that was gonna last forever. Apparently it's not.
I've got away from stating many things that I consider addictive. I buy them, and my wife said, sweetness, and all of a sudden I eat all.
Yeah.
It is hard, and the problem that we've had so far is connecting and having so much equipment here, because I can do it, but I have to throw up the equipment, I'll have like the microphone receiver, then a mixer, and then the interface into the computer, and then like I'm a PA, and I mean like the setup, it would take up millions of entire tables.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. It's small, like that, it's like, kind of crap.
Okay, thank you very much.
Well,
Yeah, now.
it's something I'm looking into, because I know we need a better solution for the online. It's like everything we pick up by that little camera. So if the speaker is standing all over there and I'm here, you can only get like that far away.
Yeah, well,
Because I can't,
I'll really.
my hearing aids are, need to be redone, so I don't even bother. I took those for her, she's at 9 years.
Yeah, well, I mean, those are very soft, so.
Yeah.
So,
Well, so is it.
yeah.
Just over here for you.
Oh, yeah, I want to move them up. I don't know, dude. That way we can get them.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then this
There you
is.
go. Look for everybody. You got the small, you know, everybody.
Perfect.
I'm over by all.
Yep.
Luckily, I'm not in a rush today, so.
That's what I know. That works. Okay, good. Yeah, it's just good. If you were to teach them, I want
I think we have almost.
2 minutes, let's get started.
Well, I do a lot of work setting stuff up. And that's what pretty close. And, help get some food for them, help get some clothes for them. So we're working to get that, we're gonna get that building going now. Hopefully get the contract and get it built, get it built. And open that up. That would be a big, help. Homelessness, because we haul, certified.
Okay, Jack,
Yeah, like I said, it's kind of a little phase that most of the seniors have learned to do their email and such like. And they really don't understand that it's so easy to pretend you're Bank of America. sucks. You know, Bank of America, they've got to come up with some kind of a digital watermark, not just the HTTPS, something where when you start to log in, my bank has a thing where it shows you a picture. I mean, you know, there's like 8 pictures, so they can be wrong 7 times and still get a good hit rate. You know?
I'm so glad to pray, you know, we keep track of everything that goes on. I do. And you said, so whenever you want to get off of it, you know, I like it from here, even the picture.
There's been thieves as long before the Romans started to write history books, and there'll be thieves right up to the last day.
Yeah.
There'll be somebody trying to con. When the Lord appears in the clouds, will be someone's gonna con you a ticket to get first in line.
They will, they will. Did I show you what we did?
Yeah, yes, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Love to see it.
So,
Oh, man.
y'all come over, let's have a little time here. I could bring my bell. I was gonna bring a bell.
This is important.
Let's come on over.
Yeah, good talk to you. I don't know if we want this chair or that chair, I don't know, the stuff's right here. Just moves around, but so Ed can see everybody real close in person. From this chair, or you want the other chair?
Unfortunately, Mary Ann had to go over to the Sylvan Library. She had a meeting she had to be in. She said she might get on Zoom and check us out. You all should have an agenda. Sorry for the small print, but I wanted to get everything on one page here, and I have a lot of things coming my way.
Sure.
James, I'm gonna put you on first here.
Sure.
Number 1.
Yeah, so from the vice president's perspective, I am going to be running some new brochures. I know we've talked about this a number of times. Right now, there are 2 items that were to be updated. I think it was, we wanted the inclusion of a telephone number and update the revision that's printed on the little tiny text on the bottom. Any other updates, please get them to me because I will be running these myself. We've discussed doing this off of our printer and having a folding party for a number of times. We keep discussing that and it never happens. I am personally just going to get them done like I did the first round. We've got like about that many left, about an inch of them left. So we are almost running out. So I'm almost going to run them again. So you give me a week.
Once we ship to Saturday, have to have that in there as a Saturday.
Right. So that's going to be part of the good call out because we're going to need to, when we decide that today, because we're going to be making that decision, I'll take that as well as an edit. But other than that, if there's any final edits, do email me that in the next couple of days, because otherwise I'm just going to get them run.
Yeah, and if you bring them here, you know, at the meeting, everybody's sitting around. It's just we'll fold it up for you, just bring them to the meeting.
Yeah, but
I think most of
it's full service. It is full service. When I get them done, they'll come out folded because it's just they go through a machine. That doesn't cost anything.
You got a folding.
Got a folding machine. Yep. So that will be taken care of. Just that's the last call for that. And then I have one more item was New Horizons. I've not really checked in, but I'll defer to you. Jack, did you have any notes on New Horizons for the group?
You want the report now?
Yeah. And did you have that later?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess New Horizons report is later. Okay, then I'm good.
Okay, I printed 50 of them for the thing that we went to on Saturday
Okay.
on my computer and folded them as they came off, and it took me about an hour to do the whole thing for 50.
Right.
But this on my computer, if you could just move this down just a skosh, or
Yeah, the margins on a home printer are wider than the
Everything-
professional.
Everything else printed fine.
Okay, I can try to make them printable on a home printer, but for this time, I'm gonna get them done professionally
We
again.
can't expect you to.
I don't mind.
It didn't,
What's
it
the
didn't
price
cost
on that?
anything to do
What?
it on.
What is the price on that?
It's like, I think I had 500 of them done for about 150.
Mhm.
Yeah, we should go pay for that. I mean, we pay
Yes,
James for doing it.
Yeah, I mean, like, the quality is better, the color quality is better, it goes further in the margins, they're just higher quality paper. I would just prefer to do them that way.
Okay.
Can we
why don't
take the
we
money
just,
from-
Move on.
well, but do we
Right now,
want-
my pocket for
Well,
now.
wait a minute, but do we want 500? Because.
It seemed to last us
we're-
last time.
We're trying this as an experiment for 6 months, the Saturday meetings, to see if we get more people, and if we don't, are we gonna go back to Mondays, or do we want to print that many
I mean,
brochures?
When we have them printed in, the library, they distribute them to all of the locations, all of the libraries.
right,
So we like to have those out as well. There's a process, but I guess we can just talk about brochures, we can move all the way down on that and give an input today or by email and then let you go with it.
I'm just gonna go with it because we've been discussing doing it as a group endeavor, and it just never comes together. I'll be happy to just take ownership of it and get it done.
I will put one insert, go ahead.
Where is the money gonna come from? We've did,
My American Express.
well, you talked about it.
Yes, there, you know, we have
You
budget,
need a statement.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
I honestly was not good. I was gonna donate it to the club, but
well, you wanna put it in a motion or a vote?
I'll put it in motion, we
Like that.
received $432 from, from the K-Mug, I think it's from director their name. And we take and give $150 or whatever it came out that James paid for it, reimburse it. I don't think people should have to, and I think that we also should, where Carol is printing, printer ink is not cheap in printing out stuff, we should pay for her printer ink. I'd put that motion out of that money that we got in to pay for those out also. Because we shouldn't have people going back up and paying for things, that the club has money to pay for. We got $432, so I make a motion to pay James, pay Carol for printer ink, and,
I
if they
use my
want-
printer for other things. There's no way that I could figure out
no,
how
but
much it would.
we'll buy you one printer ink. We'll buy you one printer ink to be able to take care of it. That's just my thoughts on it. Then we can have discussion. If somebody wants a second, we'll have discussion.
I will second that.
Okay, anybody want to, is somebody recording this?
yes, we are live, and Mary Ann's home computer is recording it right now.
Okay, good. So, basically, you want to go ahead and repeat the, motion?
I move that we take $432 that we got from K-Mug, and pay $130 to James for his making copies and buy one printer ink for Carol.
How about we just assign a dollar value of $25 towards her ink budget?
That sounds fair enough? Yes.
I think it was 150.
150 for me, but it's to be determined. So to clarify the motion, an amount to be determined not in excess of $200 for printing of brochures professionally, as well as a $25 compensation for Carol's used ink.
That's friendly amendment. I agree with the friendly amendment. I concur, so that's the amendment.
And we have the second.
I second it.
Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Taking care of that. We're still on that, and we may as well, anything that you wish to add today, change, whatever, pass that on to James, so that we can get this done. And the question would be, when would we want to meet to fold these,
Oh, that's built in.
He's got
build in?
Yeah.
Then you're gonna take care of the
I-
distribution?
All of it.
Okay, And, the membership, you could probably send some, you'd have them on your computer, and you could send some out to the trustees. How would we-
I mean, physical copies or the
Yeah,
digital?
Yeah, copy.
Oh, yeah,
We could make copies once you send them.
no, I mean, physically distribute to which part of the membership? I mean, you want me to the library to distribute,
Yeah,
or did you want among us?
I think each trustee should have some too.
If anyone who's interested in getting 50 of them or whatever, just ask and I will drop them off.
Send the thing to the board meeting,
Yeah.
to the board to put on their computer.
We're not gonna meet till September.
Right.
So that's the question I have, yes.
One thing that we should do, is, they got these nice little folders for, membership and leaflets and trifolds. And we get a buy one for each one of the libraries, so they can put it up, it has, and you put it down in case it's a competing senior application, and if they put it on the bulletin board, and you just drop these things in. And we send copies of the application to different, to the library, so that, if somebody wants to join, they just go up and say, kids have competing seniors, they read it, say, yeah, I'd like to join, and send it in, and we get it together. So it's just a little thing, it's a little plastic, thing that you slide the memberships in.
Oh, membership, application right here.
Yeah, but what it is, it'll just go on the bulletin board or on the side of the bulletin board. It has, kids have computing seniors, we're gonna have it ask Anna if that's okay to put that up, and put those in there, so it's nice and easy for, the library staff just refills them as necessary.
I will insert this, that after this meeting, I've been asked to meet with Anna to review the contract starting in September. And I think that you're gonna go with me, Carol, so okay. And so we will discuss everything, and then we will give that to you.
I can attend as well if you like.
I mean.
I can attend.
Oh, you can?
Yeah,
Good,
sure.
okay, we'll go
I took
down.
I took the whole day off today
good,
because I was
good.
tired of being
So,
at time panic.
We're gonna be a committee then to go down and finalize our contract, which is very important, yeah.
Well, when you finalize that contract and we get a room, my question is about the sink upstairs, or if we have our pop-up. I think this is the only room that has a sink,
Right,
and we will need that.
this is a larger room too, from
And
what I
we talked
understand.
about having the meetings up there. If we have the pop-up up there,
And then we have to schlep everything up and down.
yeah. For,
Well, we'll talk about that later down in this,
Well-
agenda. Let's go down through the agenda now, and we can keep brochure in our mind. Okay, Secretary, has some information for us, a report, and also discuss the CD, right? The CD?
Yes,
So you have, you gave the financial report, anything else there?
well, the CD matures on August 17th, and since we don't meet in June, July, or August, I need a motion, I need it in the minutes for the May meeting that says that the board has approved my renewing the CD.
I move we approve the motion, I make a motion, I'll give Carol and, whoever else in town, I guess probably Ed or.
Ed and Larry.
Connor signing, they go back up and review our CD in August, when we're in hiatus.
Second? Okay, any discussion on that motion? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, say. Okay, anything else from the secretary?
I'm not the secretary,
I'm
I'm the
not
treasurer.
secretary. I keep thinking the secretary is.
Doesn't work that name.
That's all I have, thank you.
Is that it for the treasurer? Okay, good. The secretary did give me a report and updated on the list of membership, and we're doing great. I did want to make a comment, and I did earlier. And thanks to Carol, she sent out a message regarding this meeting. I'm really concerned about it, but then again, the weather and the summer's coming and everybody is moving. We don't get the membership here that we had before. I think our plan for the potluck, starting in September would be probably a good idea. But the one plus here is that out of the 90 members, we had 55 that actually read or reviewed the newsletter. And I'm so happy that we have the dedicated people, our editor, Larry, and others that input the information into that newsletter. It takes a lot of work. And I personally am glad that I can put a little word in there toward the membership to motivate them to be involved in our classes and also our membership meeting. And we've had some good presenters, thank you, and others. And we want to keep going, but we used to have about 30 down there when we were at Parks and Recreation, Parks facility. And of course, way back down the hill here. So we have to really look at this one. I see that our members are interested in what we're doing as a steering committee. We can't do it all. All we could do is just do things that we think will be okay for the members, but we need their input, even in trustees meeting. But the newsletter is our communication, and I'm so glad that we got a communication, which is a two-way street. We send it out and they got it. So at least they know that we have classes available, even in the summer. But the meetings is another thing. We'll have to talk about that. Possibly a potluck, and we'll talk about that later, is maybe we're going to bring some people in. On that, I want to go to Irene. You discussed the membership committee with Mary Ann, and you'll be working with her on updating and I think once you get through with the process, it's going to be a fairly easy chairmanship.
Right. Right, changing to what?
Anything else that you wish to add?
No, my son died and this is the first day I've been back to anything, so, and she and I talked though that we would, get together and, you know, work out all of this.
By the way, I think we should lead by example. And I've got some for the new members. Out here. And I have one for my wife too, because she joined again. And we had the opportunity at the library, Carol and I, and Paulsville, this last Saturday to promote our organization. And we had some good, in fact, the two ladies over here were came by our table. So we are getting out there, and Jack and I have been talking about the New Horizons. So let's lead by example. I have this, and the other thing is the business cards.
Oh,
And I know that he's got a beautiful one, and we probably want to talk about that later, okay? But let's lead by example, and I'll go more into that later on. New Horizons, let's have you take that right now. Anything that you want to say about
Oh, just
where we
very,
are?
very briefly, this year we're up to, as the last estimation, we've donated, 15 donated computers. I've got about 5 more to go, and a couple of those came from Mary Ann's, stash. She had a dozen that she used to bring into the, Sylvan Way Library for the classes. We've managed to, recruit, the classroom at, Goodwill, I believe, where they keep them set up. So she doesn't have to schlep them in and out and set them up anymore. And so she's got a couple that she is keeping for education purposes. But I've refurbished the ones that she's had, gotten rid of all. Anyway, yeah. So I have 5 more to donate. 4 more if that lady gets it.
Well, yeah, I have one and I think I haven't been able to reach yet and then
So I think we'll get through okay. I haven't seen donations trickle in though, other than, from, somebody brought them last month.
Can you speak up? I can't hear you.
So that'll be also. Wait.
Oh, okay. Carol's not here, you need to raise your voice.
I'm sorry.
There you
I'm
go.
sorry. It's my
The
office.
secretary's not here.
Okay, we placed 15, we've got 5 in reserve. That's basically the report from, New Horizons. To talk about the brochure, the printer down there is functional, but there's a bug in it I'm working on. Generally speaking, 3 out of 10 sheets are not presentable.
Sounds like a drum issue,
Yeah.
but don't worry about it. I'm gonna have them professionally run as we just voted on a couple minutes ago, so.
If we needed like a short run, then you let me know.
Yeah, we'll be, I mean, it's good if we do need a short run, but for this next batch, we already got it covered, so.
Hey, if you want a really nice short run, they'll do it here for you.
Yeah.
Free. Nice cover, but yeah. you
We
know,
got it, we got it covered.
I like troubleshooting stuff. The drums are not, I already purchased a set of drums for $60.
Yeah, I suggest get these business cards made up.
Oh,
You know, go back up, the front's got the, you know, who you are, the back has, you know, when we're gonna meet and who's gonna be, if we could get together, but this rest of the summer, plan the 6, well, actually it's 4, you know, training sessions we have, because, you know, you have the Christmas party that eliminates one of the things, so we only have 5 training sessions. If we get to 5 training sessions, you know, we got a couple of people that might redo, and we get that and put that on the back, you know, on the back of our cards. I think that'd be something that would help. The person comes here, we have the cards standing out there so that, you know, people can see.
I like where you're going with that, but I want to interject because we're already up against a situation with the brochures that have data which is old, like the meeting dates and stuff we have to change. I would hesitate to put times and dates of those events on the cards because that's a temporary kind of situation. They could, those numbers could always change. So let's just call out that we offer those trainings and then have like a link back to the website where we can check for the most recent.
And then we also, about the donation of, I mean, we should look at the cards and make sure they're a viable subject. You know, in the back of the card, it's got, you know, do you have a laptop that you're not using or is currently outdated?
It is a usable space on the back of the card to convey our message.
You know,
your card is beautiful.
Yeah.
I like this, except, Carol was talking about the blue and what's in there, but I like the white and the blue. And if we can modify this, I have a stamp that I got at Staples where my name is on there, my email and phone number. You can do that if you want to, or I can just write it on there. But, this is where you present yourself. And you have at least 2 of these in your pocket. So that you're never left without. So anywhere this badge, you're deleting, by example, and you get this card, you get these, you're in business. And then everything else is pretty much there that you're talking about. But if they want, and you just talk about horizons and donations and so forth, and just your email's there, and if they have any donors, laptops or whatever, they can contact you, or you can just say, hey, in the back here, the Horizons, they have this site, just email them, let them know that you're interested in presenting, and then they are, right? There it is.
I get an email.
Yeah. So, yeah, can we do something with these?
I've never done them before. So, I mean, I've not done our KCS ones, so I don't have the originals for, do we know who did them last time?
Probably Laura.
Probably
Monica.
Laura. I need to,
Or she had a printer.
But
okay. Oh, so we paid for like a whole branded package. We got the website, the cards.
In fact, I was thinking you may have some in.
I think you gave me just a stack of a couple.
Oh, I'm almost out.
Okay, so we need, let me think about that. I might, how's the board feel about me adding that into the brochure work? Because like, I'm gonna have them professionally do that.
I think you can do it. We are very fortunate to get some money today. Let's use it.
All
to
right,
Promote our organization.
I move that I be granted an additional $150 for, well, how much do business cards cost for, how many do we want?
But gentlemen, ladies,
Yeah,
I used to have
That's a pretty one there.
an electronics, gig that I did. And this is almost an exact copy of it, except for those commercial on it anymore. Vista Print will give you like 200 of these for $30.
Yeah,
If you want to put something on the back, it's like another $10. And all you upload your design, it would take you 20 minutes. 10
Right.
minutes. And then you fill in whatever you want. You can put it this way, you can put it this way.
so two questions then. Do we want generic cards that we can all share, but they don't list our names on them, or do we
Right,
want to have
right.
individual names?
we can put our name on the back. Let's just do all the standard.
Okay, so all standard, that's easy enough. So then that makes it even cheaper. How about I move that up to $75 I spend to get 1,000 cards for the organization.
I second.
Okay, you hear the motion, and second, any questions, any discussion?
Well, what was the check, 400 and some?
I do have one. No, go ahead.
There was a check.
430,
Something like 400.
400,
250, and that would be.
well, no, I said 150 for the brochures, plus another 75 tops for
Okay.
cards.
Oh, And then 25 for girls.
And 25%.
161.33.
Okay, we got it covered.
So that's, yeah, 250 then.
As far as the printing goes, on the back, if we wanted to, or maybe, I wouldn't do it on the front, but on the back, you could put one of those QR block codes. And that QR block code could link to our website for people who actually do use their phones. And I'm seeing more and more people do that.
Sure. And maybe have just like a blank little oval rectangle for the name. So it says like, you know, presented by or something, and then you could write your name in there when you hand them out.
Great.
That makes sense because, you know, we having money stored in the bank and we don't want membership to drop off. So we'd like to increase membership so we don't take the money we've got.
Marketing and promotion is very important.
Yeah.
Right, and this is where it is, and we can lead by example. And I'll go into that a little bit more, but if you can get those cards
Sure.
and then get them to us this summer.
Yeah.
Whenever you can do that.
Yeah.
Get started with all of this.
Yeah, I have my ones for my little business I'm starting right here. So I definitely understand the business cards.
We're sort of
need for
hanging in on the brochures and all that information.
Perfect. Okay, we got a plan for both.
All right, good. I got, now I have, BJ here on my, if you're done with your report.
Yep, hold on.
BJ, you want to, discuss our, speaker, projection? I've been working with her, so go ahead.
Well, I have two things to talk about. I'm really hoarse, sorry. Well, as far as being chairman for speakers, I haven't done anything recently. That's because you said you have gotten speakers for this month.
I
And-
have, yeah. So I'll insert what I was with BJ. I had an opportunity for about 15-minute, phone, conversation with, Mayor, Wheeler, Meriton, Mayor. That was on the 8th when I got back from my Montana trip. And, he is, ready to go out, and promote donated laptops to KCS. He will also be available, and I invited him to be our speaker for September meeting 14th.
Okay,
He will be, I inserted a few things. I said, first of all, you've had a lot of accomplishments and then you have some goals for this community. I said, I'm sure our membership will be interested in what you have planned. And I did say, I'm sure that homeless people is an important factor here and a concern for the residents. And that's just one item, but I said, I'm sure you have many. He said, I do. And I'll be very happy to be your speaker in September unless something comes up. So then I talked with BJ and we had already talked to Leaf Wagner when he was there and we wanted him back. He has done a whole lot for housing in this area for the needy. And so with those two planned, and then we do have September, October covered. If Leaf will cover the October meeting. Well, if for instance that the mayor can't make it in September, then we can flip maybe. And then, so this is a nice thing. So we have two people, so we can maybe flip them and have Leaf on September and then the mayor on October. So that's a good projection that now we haven't had meetings in November in the past. Whether or not we want one, that's up to you folks, whether you want to project that. Personally, you're getting into the holidays, even though it's a week before, a little before Thanksgiving. We do have our December meeting. Are you having to leave?
Oh, yes.
Well, thank you for your input. I appreciate that.
Emergency.
We'll be in connection with you on email and.
Yeah,
and
the
fill
thing,
you in.
the thing is, what we need to do, and I'll give one other input. When we have the September, Saturday meeting, I recommend we take like pizza, go buy some pizzas.
Oh, yeah.
We've got some pizzas there. We've got this money, having $10,000 in our, savings account. And we should be working to drive more members by taking that money and using it for membership. And I think we should go back up and buy, 3, 4 nice pizzas out here.
I also really liked those sandwiches. Remember that one?
Yeah.
Sandwiches and pizza and have it. I don't think we necessarily, don't have to feel, I don't want to feel obligated to have to bring a potluck because then I just.
I'm happy to let Costco do the potluck.
That's right. It's happier. And we got the money and this is just my input that I think we should go do that.
We're on the same frequency.
So I think that's what we should go do, but I need to head out of here.
All right.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
See you back.
Have a good summer and we'll be in touch. Email wise. Okay,
That's a simple thing.
good.
This
Okay.
car's not working. Right?
So BJ will be working for
Two.
other speakers down the road. So
Huh?
you have a question?
DJ is not through.
I know, that's why I'm saying, I'm turning it back to her. BJ has been working on speakers, so what are you projecting?
okay, my part two is, I believe my term is up as a trustee and I wrote in the notebook today. And I will stay on, but I want to stay on as a member only, not a trustee any longer. So this is the notebook I'm turning in today.
Yeah, you're just the chairman at this point of the,
Pardon me?
you're the chairman of the speakers.
Yeah, I saw that
Is
too.
What
Are you
you're,
resigning from that
I
also?
don't know, if it gets too busy, I mean, and interferes with what I have to do at home, I will.
if you wanting to be relieved of speaker chairmanship,
Thank you, that
Oh,
would be good too.
all right, we'll take your, we'll take your request.
Okay,
And actually, what we're doing anyway is as trustees, going out and meeting people to see whether or not they would like to be a speaker. So we'll keep pushing on that.
I have been doing that anyway.
I know you have.
I've got names from friends, so we're very good, and then I go out and talk to them.
Yeah.
That's what's been happening.
So thank you for all of your efforts in doing that. And I didn't know you wanted to release yourself from the chairmanship. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Then we'll move on. I have, Irene on the membership. We already talked about that. And so you're in, with Mary Ann and she'll give you the
Yeah, sure.
training what you need. And we'll be on basic starting in September. Well, okay. The amendments to the, bylaws, that's under unfinished. And I've been looking at this and thinking about it. I had, one that I handed out to you, and some of them had to do with just maybe, a date like, February or January, all of this stuff. I think right now that we should leave it alone. We're going to have to send a proposal out to the membership once we finalize this. We're in sort of a transition right now anyway, and hopefully we're gonna have more members coming forward at the meeting and being more involved in the organization. For now, I think your bylaws are sufficient, and we've already been able to, oh, you didn't mention that you got a card now. We got our card, we went through the credit union, got all that done, so Carol has a card for her needs,
Debit card.
debit card, so that was the only thing that was really up on top here as far as the change in the bylaws. So my suggestion is that we leave it on the table for a later discussion, and then maybe in the fall, consider a proposed change to the bylaws. But at this point, I think we can function without any changes. Is that, okay, or what do you think about it?
With me.
I don't recall any outstanding changes.
No, there wasn't
Well,
anything. The only thing that really came out
Was the card
was
versus.
the card, yeah.
Yeah,
Other than that, I had inserted like a time that we wouldn't meet and so forth and all of that, but I think we,
Yeah.
as a guiding, committee is what we are, I think we're gonna function just fine. One question we might have though is, do we really want to have a meeting in November?
That was the one other thing I was looking for.
Because we do plan to have a Christmas party, December. But you feel that maybe, see, the bylaws say we have to have at least 4 general membership meetings a year. That's a minimum. It seems like if we get 2 good meetings in the fall, that'll be just fine. And if we have, we make a contact and we get the same person came in here in January for taxes, that takes care of January speaker. Then we got February and March. February is usually a time when we could use a speaker.
It's been a while since I've done a presentation.
Yeah, okay, and that's another thing. We have input for James, and also Mary Ann's done that. Larry's done that, so February and March, we sort of bring out people, and people that don't can't come to the meeting, they maybe read the newsletter, but if they come for a presentation that James has something, then that's great, so we can consider that as an in-house training session.
Yeah, you know.
And we don't have to have a speaker per se.
And you have most times of every year to see the person who speaks on IRS taxes too, right? So those are people that are just.
Yeah.
You never know.
So I think overall for the projection for our term of service, that we're gonna be just fine through March. Yes, Gary.
Can we get the speaker back who was speaking on AI? He was very popular and it was a big draw. A lot of people came.
If you have the name and the phone
I-
number, I'll call.
I don't know.
Okay.
Was he a friend of Jim Bromley's or? I don't know who got him in.
Which speaker was it?
It was like 2 or 3 months ago, we had somebody who did a brief, like an overview on AI, and I was actually kind of interested in that talk too, because I wanted to get up and keep correcting him on little parts. There was a lot more context
Yeah.
behind it, because I'm very familiar with how the LLMs and the stable diffusion and all that works, like on a technical side, and what the limitations are. So I'll go for an hour on it. But yeah, the speaker was interesting too.
Yeah, he was just like on a little bit probably more approachable level than I would get into the nitty gritty.
Well, if you wanted to do it, we welcome that too, you know.
Yeah, I do not mind putting together a state of LLMs and stable diffusion and what it does and what it doesn't do, because there are a lot of misconceptions. I think I'll base my talk around that. Misconceptions about AI. Is it the future or is it a flash in the pan? That'll be a good talk.
Oh, boy.
That's a good idea.
And how can we use it?
Yes, exactly. What is it good for and what is it not good for? Because really, I mean,
And I can't even think of his name now, but our secretary at the time would have it.
Well, we would have it in our meeting.
The meeting,
Minutes.
right.
And the brochure.
Sorry about that.
Okay, Pat has a question.
Well, I just want to clarify for my own, it said in the regular meetings, the bylaws right now say currently the board meets monthly, not less than 8 times a year. So that's 4 months that we don't. So the 3 in the summer months and November would be 4. What is the 5th? No,
January,
8
February,
and 4,
March,
that's it.
January, February, March, April, and May. There's the 5.
Right.
And then if we go to September, October,
that's 7.
there's your 7.
We
And
don't
have
need,
a Christmas one, that's the 8.
Oh, you count the.
Yeah.
parties.
Last year, we didn't meet in October because it was a holiday and the
Yeah.
library.
Oh, that's right.
closed.
Yeah. But we're doing just
But
fine with.
if we're gonna be meeting on
October,
Saturdays, we're not
November.
gonna run into that.
Okay.
and I just as an amendment here, it was Nathan Evans, Microsoft Principal Software Architect and Microsoft Research out of Silverdale.
Oh,
I just pulled up the general meeting notes from
That was it.
well,
April
If-
10th.
if you felt, if you felt a little uncomfortable,
Oh, you're free, so you don't.
I would say,
I
how
don't think
about
I'm comfortable.
if we invite James for February?
Sure, I could,
That's we got a speaker. All we have to do now is look for January and we'll talk to that person. Okay,
with the tax person, yeah.
we're good. And that's what we've always talked about is if you got speakers in advance, you could do some shuffle if there's somebody ill or something.
I'm happy to hold an entire presentation just in my back pocket as like a cancellation. If somebody cancels at the last minute, I can just pop in.
Boy, I like that idea. Thank you.
That's cool. That's great.
Great.
Why not? I mean, I'm gonna be here anyway.
We're moving right along.
No.
Since we're right down here, we talked about brochure and I think we've pretty well done that as far as business.
Yeah, I got it.
Let's go down to the website. Is there anything we need to talk about at this point?
Well, okay, so the last status, as I recall, was that we clarified with Laura that we do own all rights to the art and actual, like the content on that site. We can do with it what we want. We don't need her permission. That said, I don't have access to the actual server that it runs on. It's running on some terabyte server that they have like a custom build for us, and I don't have the passwords to that. So I am limited to doing changes in that WordPress, in that template. So I can update small things like the text, update photos, add photos, but I can't really do much else than that, right? I can modify what we have. I can't create something new. That said, what we have is probably fine. And we opened up the table for any changes that were remaining to be made to be sent to me. And unless I missed my email, which was very possible, I don't recall having gotten any suggestions. So that's just,
Marianne. So.
well, and Marianne also has access to the software. She can do them all herself too. So, I mean, Marianne and I both have full admin over the site. And who is the member? Was it Larry Savage who was also the admin on the website? Or who was the website chair?
Doug.
Doug, thank you. Yeah, so I know that last month you had reintroduced Doug Stauner to the loop that he would be able to make changes too.
But,
Although I've not seen him.
well,
You know,
he's been pretty busy.
collaborate.
This time he works with the taxes for.
Right.
Maybe you need to talk to Jim, what's his name? He was our speaker. He owns Telebyte.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
He-
yeah, or Laura.
I mean, because Laura was the one who contracted it from him, right? She was the one who set it all up.
Right.
I don't know if the CEO of Telebyte would actually have input into a client's account. Because that would be through Laura.
She would have been database calibrated. She was totally.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't mind the way it is. I know we have some runway with Laura of like paid consulting that like is just sitting there credit
Right.
for us. I don't know if we need to use that or not. I don't think, I mean, I'm, the website's okay. You know, it is good enough. It's what we have. So we can update it. We just can't like build something brand new without it being a bit of a legwork.
Have you given her a call and talked to her?
I haven't actually, I might have her information. I don't remember. No, I have not.
What's on the
I've not
roster?
ever spoken
What's
to
on the
her.
roster? Do you have a copy of the roster? I can send it to you.
Yeah, I don't think I do handy now.
We're right beyond one, but let's go one more thing, and we've, had an input from John. And, Carol and I discussed this briefly a little bit. It's about the planning for September meeting. And, when we're going to put a luncheon into this period of 10 to 1:30, we can come in here at 10 o'clock. It takes at least 30 minutes to set up. We couldn't be set up by 10:30, but 10:45, we probably could be.
I still am hesitant to use a 45 after as a start
I
time
know,
for the
I
meeting.
know.
Yeah. I do
Okay,
too.
then we could stay with the same time frame, but we're gonna include luncheon in there somewhere. And
Why don't we
still-
just include it and have the buffet out and encourage everyone to help yourself throughout the process and have maybe like one table set in back with chairs for if people want to, dual, munch and watch the speaker. I don't think it's rude to have people slightly active.
That's a good idea, and John mentioned pizza, and Carol and I talked about, finger food.
Yeah, sandwiches, like I brought that one
chicken,
time.
something like that, so.
I mean, it would be,
Pretty well, you can get some
it won't.
pretty cheap, and if here's the deal, okay, here's my idea, first of all. I feel that we as leading by example, I started a list here. And we have 90 people, plus a couple more right now. If every board member had 9 people to communicate with, you are a guiding light or whatever, you're a mentor, to let these people know that you are concerned about them, and so you establish a communication. And you can do it by email or phone. I prefer a phone to start with. But communicate with them and to let them know that we're going to have a luncheon. And tell me, just send me an email, yes, I'll be there, or no, I'm not. That will give us an idea how much pizza we may have to buy.
Or sandwiches.
So we have time to do that. But if every member is working, trustee is working, and I got John in here for 9 people on this list. I just went down through there, and then I have some for you too, Irene, and so forth. I started going through that, so I could set that up. That way, you only have 9 people that you need to communicate with periodically, and all you have to do is say, have you checked the newsletter for June? To know what classes are going to be available, or they open, whether you can get any people to donate to Horizon, whatever you want to say, make it short, but let them know that you're interested in them. Are we doing what we need to do for you? What is it that you might need? We've already gone, Mary Ann went out with that survey, and she only got about 8 people back from 90. Well, if we individually take out effort and go out and lead by example and mentor these people, we probably will have them maybe coming in if they know what we're going to have in advance. And some people might say, well, I don't need to go listen to the mayor. I don't care about that. But then again, hey, if we're getting something on AI, yeah, I certainly want to make that one. So they pick and choose. You're not going to get everybody. But anyway, that was my idea. That was right at the end here, how we can do things better as trustees. So if you're interested in that, I will send you out an email and I refer to our membership and give each of you 9 people to communicate with. Do you like that idea? Do you think that?
I opt out personally because I'm not good at communicating with a bunch of people.
Well, you know, it doesn't work for everybody, but at least it's an effort.
I am not the most socially fluent of us.
But if you don't want to be a part of that one, that's all right, but I got some people you can talk to. But all you'll have to do is a short email, don't get long like Ed sometimes does, but anyway, that's what I'm suggesting. And that way we can do some planning for our pizza and maybe have a little salad there. And I like your idea. Get your plate, come in, relax, we got a speaker, whoever, and we go for it. That way we don't have to have a time frame.
I think it would be best probably to set out the food first. Establish that like when we get up by 10:30 and have food. So everybody as they arrive can stock up and then they can start munching throughout the presentation. That's okay. Like we can combine both. We don't have to be all done with food to start the next part of the segment, right? So if we just have the buffet out as people arrive, they can serve themselves. And then afterwards, I mean, sandwiches will last room temperature. Pizza will become room temperature. That's fine. We don't need to really keep it hot. I mean, it's just pizza. So like any snacky single, just take pieces, put it on a plate and carry it with you kind of foods should be pretty easy. I mean, I don't think it really needs more definition, you know, like time distinct definition.
I like the idea. What do you think?
Maybe we could just have one thing and just, we wouldn't need another table, just set it up over there by the
Well,
sink.
I think that would be a good idea.
Yeah, well, I mean, like last time from like the Christmas party when we had the sandwiches that I brought in and some of the other stuff, like it did pretty much dominate one of these tables
Yeah.
back there. I don't mind that per se, but
Pat,
mean-
what do you think?
Well, I had a question and now my
oh no.
old age is, oh Lord,
It'll come back in a minute.
it'll
But,
come back.
What you're saying comes back to what we really need to be doing. When people are coming in between 10.
Okay.
9,
You know, she remembered it now.
okay, you got it, then I'll get back.
Since this won't be a potluck,
No,
what are we going to refer to it as?
luncheon.
A luncheon will be
Luncheon.
provided.
And
Yes.
brunch,
Sandwich and snack.
Brunch? Brunch?
Type sandwich, are you
Okay,
It's early in
right.
The ones that I brought on were you here on the Christmas party where we had the,
For those from Costco.
yeah, they were Costco. They sell them by the tray and they're
Pinwheel
great.
sandwiches,
Yeah.
And provided them a year
No, I
before.
think our luncheon is all right.
Vegetables.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was-
The carrots, celery, broccoli.
Yeah. That's better than a salad.
Yeah, and the fruit plate and then, like you say, sandwiches.
A couple small items that are finger food, something we could fit on a small plate and carry around without being wet and messy or having soups and ladles, just dry foods. Yes.
Yes,
Um,
ma'am.
I have the container, they're not very big, but they're bulky. When Carol and I went down and we were there when we transferred everything out, I kept the container that has the plates and napkins, plastic silverware. I mean, they're quite heavy. And why I'm mentioning these, I will make sure that somebody else bring them with me
I'll pick
for
them up.
September, but I no longer will be able to store them. I mean, they've been sitting there in the way,
Yeah.
and I haven't minded, but now that we're gonna be using that again.
I'll do that, if we can have, at least 2 people to order the food, whatever you
I
desire.
do not mind. I am in Costco every other day, it seems. So
Oh,
I mean, like, I love Costco.
well,
No, I have a membership. It's right up the road here
Yeah, I
in
know where it
Silverware.
is.
I don't mind stopping there first.
well,
But someone will have to.
do we want to decide what it is, or you just go and get what you want?
Well, I mean, I was kind of figuring like what we just discussed, like the sandwich tray was a hit. Everyone was happy on December, and then a fruit and veggie tray. That alone is probably good enough. I could grab a pizza while I'm there at Costco, like just like a pepperoni. Like they only have cheese or pepperoni now. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter to me what the items are. I mean, I can give you guys a brief list of their menu, like it's the sandwich tray, pizza, veggie tray, and like we can just scale it based on our expected, size of the group.
Yeah.
But because we are usually this to double this, one of those trays from we had just a few leftovers anyway. It was perfect. I got like 2 trays. So
Okay, if you're volunteering, then
Yes,
we got
yes.
that settled and we're all ready for the luncheon in September. Anything else that you want to bring for us at this time? I'm gonna send an email out with a request for people to go ahead and contact these, members that are not showing up. And, maybe we can get more people in. I like the idea that you presented, and we can meet people between 10:30 and 11
yeah,
and welcome them in, get the food, whatever they want. Then we get on the show, and we got our speaker and we got the food going, and then eventually then we'll have the trustees meeting, just
Yeah.
like that.
yeah, just same as it is. We just don't even need to define it.
Question for everybody, as long as we're here now, what do you think about even us? If we know somebody who we think would be a good speaker for our group, we could write their names down as a list, and one of us or whoever can start calling them to find out what we really want to hear about, what is good for us, like our speaker today, that was a very good.
So, yeah, and input, anytime anybody, and if you're not wanting to be a chairman, but you can come in here and be an assistant trustee until you can officially get in March. You're welcome, okay?
I think.
Yeah, that's all I have, except one more thing. When Carol and I were there, and here's the picture where we were at the, library up there in Baldwin. There were 2 people that I got a card from, and one of them is Chris, Goodfellow. She wants us to come and make a presentation. So I'm gonna talk to you about that, and we can maybe get that going and give an input, because she is the program chair for this group. And so that's one. The other one is right down here at the mall. They have a senior center, and they want to see us too. So it's 2 places that we can go.
During the summer break.
In the summer, yeah, we'll work it out. I'll call them and I'll get a hold of you.
What days and times does the senior center would meet at the mall?
I don't have it, but
Okay,
I will find out.
okay,
I'll let you know.
thanks for your service.
Okay, with that, we're adjourned. We got it. Thanks a lot, James.
Of
I
course.
forgot about this.
All of your volunteering.
Oh, no,
What is it, Carol?
it's fine. I love bringing the food.
And, we're gonna, once we break